Good afternoon, ladies and gents. You're listening to Way Out Radio with DJ Paula Frost, and we've got a long lost friend on the show now. Yes, if you're a fan of the show and you've been around a little while, then you'll know this incredible man. It's Josh Whitehouse. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Paula?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm all good. Thank you. It's 8 hours earlier where you are, right?
That's correct. Yeah. I'm in LA at the moment.
So, what are you doing in LA?
Well, not a lot right now, to be honest. I came out here in January to start a TV show called Daisy Jones and the Six. Well, I came out to audition, then I got the job, and so I've been here since then. We were supposed to start shooting in April this year, but that then got pushed until March next year. So I've been kind of riding out the storm here and just enjoying the weather and making the most of it. I've been working on a new album. It's now been pushed again until much later next year. So I'll be coming back in the summer of 2021 to start work on that. But I'm probably going to come home to London for a couple of months coming up soon.
Cool, cool. And you've been busy throughout the lockdown as well, because I know you were in China for quite a while, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So, what were you doing in China? Like a movie?
I was making a movie. Yeah, I was pretty crazy. I was making a movie about the origin of communism in China to
Wow.
celebrate 100 years of communism in China. It's called
Wow.
1921, and it's being released in 2021.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
So did you
yeah.
learn a lot, or were you clued up on Chinese history before that, or did you have to brush up?
Oh, I had to brush up. I had no idea, to be honest. And so I just kind of went out there and started learning, and I had to do a 2-week quarantine out there to before I could step foot in the city. So I was put in a quarantine hotel, which was kind of a crazy experience. I won't go into it all. It's a very long story,
Uh-huh.
um, but quite a wild one. And yeah, certainly an unusual experience going out there, especially during a pandemic. And it was definitely an experience to say the least. But yeah, it was, it had some really great moments, and it was amazing to see a new city. And I think the film's going to be pretty cool. It's made by some amazing people, so interested to see the result at some point if I ever do. I don't know if I can't imagine it'll get released anywhere but China.
Okay. So we'll have to do a little internet search and try and track that one down in the West.
Yeah.
It'd be worth it. It sounds really cool. Hopefully someone will put subtitles on it, or is it in
Yeah. Oh
English?
no, I'm
No.
I'm speaking in English actually with a Russian
Yeah.
accent.
Really?
I'm playing
That's
a
cool.
Russian guy. They browned me up and everything. It was
Really? What did you wear?
just a little bit. Well, it was set in the 1920s, so kind of a crazy get up, really. I had like big wide trousers with a really low crotch and kind of button up waistcoats and a little pork pie hat with these little round spectacles that made me look like one of the bosses off Sonic.
Amazing. Sounds like a very crazy life that you lead. So you
Sometimes.
you mentioned before that you like have to go through makeup for a bit longer because as you started out as a musician before being an actor, like you got quite a few tattoos, and then like
Hmm.
when you're in a film, they have to spend ages covering them up. So was that a problem on this film, or were you okay?
No, not on this project. I was always covered up anyway, so it wasn't too much of a problem. But yeah, it can take about 2 or 3 hours in the morning, which is rough. If you've got a 6 o'clock in the morning call time, then you need to be in for like 3:30.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's rough.
Okay. Okay, so we've brought you back onto the show because we're very proud to announce that you are the winner of our Band of the Month award for More Like True.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Oh
And
wow. Yeah, like
yeah,
there's like a whole thing. That's cool.
yeah. And got a little engraving there for you at the bottom. You can
Amazing.
read that.
Oh, that's dope.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations. We'll get this sent to you.
That's so cool. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, man, and thanks for all the good music. We're still spinning, roots and shoots over here, and we're still playing in the night, and yeah, we love it. Like,
Oh, great. Thanks. We released a new album
yeah,
the start of the year, which regretfully I didn't give enough of a lead up to kind of promote it before we put it out. I just kind of I've been making music for fun and for passion, and for my own endeavors really. And I kind of do my acting work to try and raise the funds. And then as soon as I have the funds, I just start spending my earnings on creating an album or getting new equipment to try and make more music. So yeah, it's I kind of just made the album and went, well, I just put it on the earth, and if people find it, great, and if they don't, then whatever, But yeah, I'm actually working on another album right now, which is beginning to near the finish line, which is exciting. It's with my producer at the moment, John Hendicott. Got a lot of guests on there, and uh, this time, it's been a funny year, and my drummer Matt is in London, my bass player is in New Zealand forever. I'm in Los Angeles, and I've been on my own, and I've got my kind of road kit with me that I actually just got out here because I need equipment. I can't mentally survive if I don't have things to make music on. And so I've been making an album of music which is very different to the normal, more like trees sound. And I've just been kind of going with, there's some songs from when I was 17 that never made it onto an album somehow. Some songs I wrote really recently, some that have been floating around for a couple of years. And I just kind of got all of these odds and ends and a couple of new bits and put them all together and decided to make the songs that I never normally end up putting out, that I still, over the years, have somehow not been able to let go of them. And I still want to see them come to life. Yeah. So I've been using whatever instrumentation I feel like for them, instead of it always being double bass guitar and cajon. Go for full drums, got a string section, piano. So I'm excited about that, and I'm looking forward to letting that be a part of the world. And whether or not I put it out under More Like Trees because it's so different, that's a question that's going through my head. But yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Yeah, totally. I totally understand about like not being able to let a song go and like one being stuck in the past a bit, because like when I was at uni, we had to write an album as part of the music degree, and it was my first attempt writing songs, and I was a drummer, so I was just kind of like trying to learn the guitar and stuff. I was going for a sort of like, people said it was a bit like Sid Barrett or something, and I was like, okay, cool. But I literally spent so much time like recording like xylophone and then spinning it backwards and putting echo on it and like just trying experimental stuff. But no one's ever heard that album. I didn't do anything with it. And now I'm just like, well, I'm writing electronic music, but I might just go back and get that xylophone reversal thing that I did, and might just go grab that little guitar lick, because there's so much stuff that you create all the time when you're a musician, and you know that it's in your archive, and you're like, I want to bring that back.
Well, I think it's time is a very useful writing tool, and I tend to think that if you have a good idea, it'll you won't forget it, And I think to write things, I'm constantly writing, constantly putting down ideas, and sometimes they just disappear into nothingness. Sometimes I rediscover them years later and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I forgot this. But then there's some which, like I say, for the last 15 years, I wrote it when I was probably some of the first songs I wrote, and I'm still thinking about them, being like, there's something to those. Maybe I'm like clinging on to the youthful innocence that I had before, that I hear in those songs, which life affects the way you write and the things you go through, and maturing and trying to redirect the way that you're writing music and stuff. And you're always trying to be better than the last thing you wrote. But I think your opinion of what is better tends to get skewed by your experiences in life sometimes, and often just things that have come from the heart are some of the best ideas.
Yeah, definitely. And like as you've got older, I mean, I'm sure when you started out as a musician, you were a kid and you probably just had your pocket money. Now you're an adult, you got a successful career. I mean, how much have you like delved into just buying like all these different instruments that you're just intrigued by, and like what kind of gadgets have you like picked up along the way?
I'm missing my studio back home because I have a lot of toys in there. There's a xylophone, there's a melodica, there's an accordion,
Yeah.
um, many guitars, bass, keyboards, bongos, shakers. Nice recording equipment is probably the most important thing in the world, really, when it comes to making things sound nice and the satisfaction that you get from writing. And I've got what was actually a pretty new toy before I left. This has all been amalgamated over like, 10 years of making music, but I got a Moog synthesizer, a Sub 37, which
Oh
is
yeah, I saw that
a
on your
crazy
Instagram, I
toy.
think.
Yeah. And I think I got to play with it for about 2 months, and then I got called out to America, and I've been over here and just kind of like, it's still there.
Come back to
You go
me.
back and go, wow, baby. Oh, yeah. And I always thought when I heard electronic music and things like that when I was growing up, and I was messing around on Ableton and stuff and trying to figure out how to make all these sounds that people are doing with just, like the digital packs of instruments that you get on Ableton. And I was like, I don't understand how people are making that wop wop sound. I just couldn't get my head around it. And then I found this Sub 37. I was like, it's this big analog thing. And I'm like, oh, wow. This is cool. Hey, I found it. This is what you do. So I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to having the chance to get back into that and dive
yeah.
deep on making noises when I get home.
Yeah, no, definitely, totally understand that. I'm the same. I'm like I said, I've been writing some DJ music, and I've just been like googling wobble bass, and I'm just like, how do you turn an ES2 synthesizer into that sound, that what? And I'm just
Mhm.
like been trying to build synths and stuff, which is something that lockdown has allowed me to do because otherwise I'd be like out and about all the time. But I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, it's free time now, which I don't ever have. I'm like, what do I want in life? I want to
Hmm.
know how to make that goddamn wobble sound.
Hmm. Yeah, I've been trying to learn as much as I can while we've been going through this crazy year, and I've been trying to improve my guitar theory knowledge, and sort of dig into all of that stuff, which is something I've put off my entire life because I taught myself to play the guitar, and so I just kind of have never really touched theory and just been working off what sounds
Wow.
nice.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to learn about that because I feel like it would be a very useful tool, but it's so difficult for me to get my head around for some reason. Just like I see the information, but like putting it into practice and understanding it fully is very difficult. Um, yeah, I've been trying to learn new gear, and I got an Ableton Push the other day, which
Oh,
I'm
nice.
excited about as well. It's a fun little toy to play around with.
Cool.
It's been a good time for learning.
Yeah. Are you into sound production as well? I know you work with a sound producer usually, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. But again, that's something that I've learned in that is, I mean, recently I hadn't actually added to my studio for a bit, and recently, after my China job, actually, I was like, okay, I think I deserve some new gear. Um, and so I've invested this time in synths and digital instruments that sound great, and that has given me a whole new brainwave of, again, that feeling of like, how do people make those sounds? And like, it's like, well, you get the stuff that sounds nice.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
simple. Didn't realize, but so in terms of digital production and soundscaping and everything, that's something that I'm digging more into now. And the more I'm practicing and the more that I've been recording, albums of my own at home, which I then send to a producer. But each time I get to this phase of sending the stuff to the producer, the demos that I'm putting forward, I'm noticing are sounding better and better
Yeah.
myself from my own production, which is a really nice feeling. So that's been
Yeah.
cool.
Amazing. So you said that some of the tracks that you're getting prepared for this new album, they've been in the pipeline a while, but how many tracks are like really new and what kind of is inspiring you to write at the moment?
Um, so the tracks that are new, there's probably like four. Two of them I wrote in quarantine in China because I was on my own and I was trying to stay sane, locked in a room by myself, which was
That's going to
tricky.
be such a cool story to tell when you're a grandpa. Like, I wrote this
Yeah,
song in quarantine in China. Here it is.
yeah, yeah. It's called Peaceful Place, and the lyrics are, "We can find our way to a peaceful place." I know you will, my friend. And that was kind of just me reassuring myself about. And I was trying to, instead of picking up the guitar and approaching a song by being like, I need to do the coolest riff and the most like dun 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 kind of impressive performance type thing. I just wanted to strip it back and see what happens if I just try and write more gently and take my time and um, I feel like it's something that I've for some reason been afraid of almost is, or like, people think it's soppy or like, but there's a lot of that kind of music in me. And so I've just been
Yeah,
kind of allowing it to exist. And it's funny because they're the newer songs, but they kind of have more of that vein of when I was 17 and writing those kinds of songs then. And I feel like I kind of went through this phase of feeling like I needed to make something really like wow for a bit.
yeah,
And so I'm kind of just like regressing from that motion and trying to go back to my roots a little bit and taking inspiration from like Paul Simon and Leonard
oh yeah,
Cohen and Tom
nice,
Waits, and James Taylor and just a lot of the bands and musicians that my parents listened to when I was growing up, that have deep down influenced and inspired me very much my whole life. But I kind of took everything down the flamenco route for a very long time. And so there's a little mixture of some Paul Simon elements and some kind of Leonard Cohen kind of more ballady stuff.
lovely.
And then I've done a couple that sound like hip hop or sublimey kind of
Yeah.
vibes, there's some little punky moments in there and some distorted guitar.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
mash it up, definitely. And
Hmm.
like, as a person who's like in the entertainment industry, like you're a musician, an actor, how have you found like the flip reverse lifestyle of this year? I mean, like, do you enjoy solitary time and do you occupy yourself and like love that, or have you got to a limit where you're just like, I really need to socialize, like I need people around, I want to entertain, I want to,
It's a bit of both. I do really like to have alone time. I like, just sort of being with myself and creating and that that world. It's something that I need a lot in life. But this year's been a bit much for anybody. Like, I would love to be able to socialize again and
Yeah.
kind of just have a normal life again and
Full.
yeah, see some people, hang out. I remember before quarantine and all of this madness, I would, kind of feel like I was going out too much and would be craving more time alone. But yeah, now it's kind of
Same.
swung too far in the other direction almost.
Yeah, like when this first came about, I was like, oh, two or 3 weeks of quarantine. I was like, banging, like I'm gonna do so much. I'm
Mhm.
gonna write these
Yeah.
songs and like
Oh,
DJ.
how we laugh.
Yeah, yeah. And now I'm just like, I could be really cleaning up right now with the Christmas parties. Damn it,
Yeah.
New Year.
Yeah, it sucks, man. The creative
Yeah,
industry has taken a huge hit this year.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no one can work. It's
no,
it's
that's nuts.
crazy. I mean, I managed to do a job this year, but I had to go to China to do it,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
who knows what this year could have been if this hadn't happened, but we're nearing the finish line now. I'm hearing there's a vaccine coming. That's something.
mm,
Um, so yeah,
yeah.
onwards and upwards. Hopefully next year we'll be back to normal and we'll be kind of back in the clear. That'll be nice.
Yeah, definitely. I really missed festival season because I was like planning Rebellion and Boomtown and Reading Fest, and I'd hoped to go to Glasgow for the 50th, and I was just like, it's gonna be so good, but nah, wasn't to be.
Such a shame. Such a shame.
um,
But hey, I'm sure everybody's going to really appreciate life on the other side when it comes back around, and we won't take it quite so much for granted.
sure, definitely. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a bit about one of the projects that you put out recently, which is Light the Darkness featuring Lazy Habits and Tali.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, so you all perform separately from like all different places. You know, like you said, you're is it your bass players in New Zealand, Matt's in
Mm,
London,
hmm.
you're in LA, and someone was in Taiwan. Lazy Habits were in
Lazy
Taiwan.
Abbots was in Taiwan. Yeah, and
Wow.
Tali, New Zealand as well. So yeah, it's from all over the place, which is pretty crazy. I mean, fortunately, I managed to get a lot of the core elements of the track recorded back in London before I left. But then the album was kind of finished from over here.
Mm.
Yeah.
So how was it putting that video together and working with everybody?
That was fun, I was able to record my brother playing cajon in my studio in London. And I had to just kind of send out emails and ask people, could you film yourself? Can you do this? Can you get that recorded? And that's a lot how I've done the album that I'm working on at the moment as well, actually, is, I mean, entirely. I just made demos on my computer and I've been writing to people and saying, can I book you to come into this studio or can you record from home? It's been a really interesting process. And I think one cool thing that's kind of come out of, this year in quarantine is it's kind of forced people to learn to work together from long distances. And so many people have got home setups now where they can record decent quality music from home and kind of do session work. And that's a lot of the things, like a lot of musicians are surviving off that at the moment, I think. So a really interesting fact, I've reached out to people on social media, musicians who've come back and talked to me and we've collaborated, or I've made a little video or something, which is, just a positive side of all of this, I suppose.
Okay, so last Christmas, a film came out on Netflix, which you starred in, which is really cool. The night before Christmas, yeah, I wanted to ask you a bit about that because it's a bit different.
I haven't done anything like that before. No, it was a great experience though. Such a nice thing to be a part of. Nothing really emotionally taxing about playing a time traveling knight who comes to town for Christmas and falls in love. It's just very kind of easy, happy, humorous, and kind of something that I haven't really had the opportunity to do in terms of just playing something completely like a fish out of water character, something a bit magical. And it was a lot of fun for me to be able to play somebody who just so wholly believed in his situation.
Yeah.
Bit tricky to get my head around at first, but definitely, I'd love to do more roles like that in the future and have the opportunity to play the more sort of wacky things. I love the opportunity to play a character that has just a very firm belief, and the humor comes in that. And I think it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny, really cool the way you lit the character up with the way you'd played it, and yeah, it was humorous. Um,
Yeah, and it
yeah,
was
the
it was
only
a favorite in some ways. It kind of reminded me of Elf.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Just how he's just from another world, and he's like, oh.
Did you have to do
Yeah.
much, give much thought to like the words you were using, um, coming from like being a knight?
Yeah, I was trying to do the deep dive, like looking up. I was going to the gym, listening to the Knight's Code on a running machine, and um, my friend found me and my friend had a joke group called Old Fashioned Insults,
Nice.
and I actually found like a chart that had, you can piece together sentences. You take one from here, one from here, and one from here, and you can just like put together Old Fashioned Insults.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
fun. I was revising that as well, just trying to think of stuff I could improvise with. But it's tricky, It's tricky when you're playing something that's been from so long ago, But the film was very much in jest and not trying to be entirely historically accurate, because it was lighthearted fun, I suppose.
yeah. They do like
Tell you what was
amazing.
hard was walking in that armor. It was like 100 pounds of armor.
Oh,
It was
really?
really,
Wow.
really, really heavy. And we'd shoot all of those scenes in one day, generally, like sort of, or it'd be like a night suit day, like
Oh no.
armor day. And so just, yeah, that was tough, especially riding a horse.
Yeah, and another massive role that you had. I'm just trying to catch up since we last
Yeah,
spoke,
cool.
but Poldark, it was incredible. Like your role in that was like huge character, and it really,
Thanks.
yeah, like it really like brought because to me, like I thought that amongst my friends, because we're all Northern Soul fans and stuff, we already knew who you were like a while ago. But
Right.
then all of a sudden, if your name comes up or you're mentioned, then it's like it's a household name now because you're in Poldark. So that's really cool. How was that for you?
Honestly, Poldark was the first time I felt like I could call myself an actor.
Oh wow.
I kind of Northern Soul, I didn't have an agent. I'd never had any training apart from training for the film. And so I did a movie and played a starring role and kind of, I came away from it. I was like, well, I'm not just going to like start saying I'm an actor. Like, I'm a musician. I'm not an actor. I was in a film. But then from that, I got an agent, and then I did two sort of indie movies, and then my first lead again after that, which was Modern Life is Rubbish. And still, I just couldn't bring myself to say I was an actor. For some reason, I was just like, it doesn't feel right to me to just sort of call myself. I feel like people who spent their life training couldn't call themselves that. But then I got a call saying that I'd booked Poldark, and I was like, oh, like the BBC? BBC are hiring me as an actor. Okay, like, I guess that's what I'm doing now. I'm an actor. Cool.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, it was an amazing experience. I loved working on Poldark. It was very eye-opening, and I learned so much. And the cast were all lovely, and it was great to be a part of something so legitimate. You know.
Yeah, amazing. And you put loads of hard work in as well. I mean, I can recall like that you posted a picture of your love interest in Poldark, and it was like you were drawing her, and it was kind of like, were you method acting or trying to like imagine you were in love, really in love, kind of thing?
I was trying to, yeah, just connect with the character a little bit. And, whenever I do a character, I try and do something that they would have done
Yeah,
that I can somehow do myself and feel as though then I've connected with that part of them. That's all. It's not that I was trying to fall in love necessarily. I was just, when I played Randy in Valley Girl, I assumed an American accent and dressed up in his costume, changed my name to Randy on Uber Eats. Not that he would have been able to do that, but I had people calling me Randy in the street, and went into restaurants and bars and talked an American accent. Got caught
really.
out a few times. Yeah, got caught out a few times. When I
What
did
was that
Northern
like?
Soul, I went and danced at all nighters, and it was scary. uh, it was. I felt like an idiot, but I felt like I had to be able to bluff it in front of Americans if I was going to do it on a screen in front of thousands.
Yeah, definitely.
So I always try and like pick something that I could learn to do. When I did The Night Before Christmas, I did sword training for a bit,
Wow,
just to know how
cool.
to hold a sword and how to fight a little bit. Um, yeah, and Hugh Armitage was obsessed with Demelza and drew her all the time and wrote her poetry. So I drew a picture of Demelza and wrote one of the poems from the script on the drawing, and I presented it to her as well.
Yeah, what did she say? Get
She
away
was,
from me,
you
you
love?
weirdo.
No. You liked it? I was like, I drew this. It's from Hugh. I don't know.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Um,
Anything you can do really to get into character is useful.
yeah, definitely. It's amazing. And like a lot of actors do fall in love, don't they? Like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
Mhm.
You spend a lot of time together, so you must have like made a lot of close friends from working like that in close proximity with so many amazing actors over the years.
Yeah, yeah, I've definitely made a few friends for life. And it's funny as well because you develop such a family on set, and you feel like everybody's all best friends, and there's just this kind of sad truth that people's lives exist without you, and that bubble kind of pops afterwards sometimes.
Yeah,
Um, it's rarer that you keep people forever, but there's definitely people that I found on films and that I've been in touch with and that have changed my life and that have been best friends to me. But yeah, sometimes, a lot of the time, you find that people just kind of have to go back to their life because you can't
mm,
fully invest yourself into every person that you meet on a film set because I mean, it tears you up, to be honest. It
yeah,
kind
it
of
does.
does. You feel like you found a home, and then coming home from that bubble where everything was golden and sparkly, and you kind of just like, what just happened?
I'm so cold.
Are you guys okay? You cool? Do we
What do
still
you mean you
text?
have a baby?
Yeah, and it kind of, life continues, and you just have to remember that time and treasure it really a lot of the time.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the same with traveling. I mean, anyone who's done a bit of backpacking or anything, like a couple of years ago I did the world trip for this show, and it was like I had a running crew in Russia and we went on tour together and we played gigs together, and then, Sweden, and when I went to like Japan, and I had like little families that I just sort of gathered waifs and straves, and then we like bunked together and traveled together, and then one day we'd all go, oh well, I'm going this direction now, and
Mm.
it's hard to meet up again. But yeah, I totally get that feeling. it's
Yeah, it's
it's like
tough.
we were so close.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is tough, but it's nice to know that you can like kind of call back on people in the future, and
Yeah, there'll
I
always
think it's just
be.
important in this industry, like acting specifically, to kind of, the people who have been your friends your whole life. It's important to keep a hold of those and stay true to your world.
Yeah, definitely. I've got some friends from when I was like in nursery, like age 3 or 4, and we always just like make a point to like just keep in touch and meet up. Like when we were kids, it was like meet up at Legoland once a year, and then it's like meet up a gig once a year. Like just look after those people. It's really nice.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's the truth. And I've missed my family and friends a lot this year. I've been very far away from everybody, so it's going to be nice to reconnect with everybody once I get back.
Yeah, definitely. Um,
Mm.
so I wanted to ask you. You mentioned about Randy and your character in Valley Girl. I haven't had a chance to see Valley Girl yet because I don't know. There was like a little bit of stop and start with the release. Was there? Would you tell me a bit about yeah filming and like what happened? What happened with that?
So yeah, Valley Girl we made it in 2017. Unfortunately, there was some drama with Logan Paul, who was in the movie, and some stuff that went down on his YouTube channel, which people started really kind of hating on him for a bit. Which put the filmmakers off releasing it immediately. So it basically got shelved for 2 years, and then recently came out. That
Oh,
was
cool.
a very big deal to me. That movie. It was the first time I was playing an American, um, and I have been working and working tirelessly on my American accent ever since then. Still always trying to improve. There's always learning to be done. But I'm pretty happy with how it came out.
And you're a
I can
punk
see how
guy, are
it's.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm playing a punk in the '70s. Have you seen the original?
Clips of it, but no, I haven't seen the whole original.
The
But I have
original's
seen.
great. I remember
Yeah.
watching the original when I found out about this remake and thinking they shouldn't remake this.
It's too good. It's like Willy Wonka. You're like, nah, this
Mm,
is this is
yeah,
still holding up
basically.
for
It's
me.
one of
Yeah.
those. But I felt like, we kind of had a different creative license in that we were turning it into a musical, and it was being told from the memory of Julie, like a future Julie talking to her daughter about the memories of, way back in the 80s and so that kind of gave it this new creative license, I felt, which it was a lot of fun, very proud of it.
Amazing. And like I know that you were going to be in like a spin-off series of Game of Thrones, and then it didn't quite come to fruition, but you did like
Mm.
a lot of filming with that. So would you just like quickly touch on what happened there?
um they shot the pilot. There was two prequels happening, and they had to pick one. I wasn't actually in the pilot. I was supposed to be coming in episode 2. So they went and shot the pilot, and I think out of the two prequels that they had happening, they went with the other one. It's kind of as simple as that. But it was, I got the job a year and a half before it got cancelled. So it was a long
Yeah.
time believing that I was going to be in Game of Thrones, and that it was a very kind of mind blowing feeling to deal with. But it was also a lot of pressure, and that not happening. Now I'm working on Daisy Jones, which I get to play a musician. I'm playing bass. I've been learning music all year. I'm getting better at the bass guitar, having lessons, and learning some amazing music for the TV show. So it's been a really welcome, change around, and I'm thoroughly enjoying and excited for Daisy Jones and the Six, which will be my second American role, unless I get
Amazing.
something else before then. But we'll see. I'm trying.
Okay. Did you want to play a tune today, or did you have the guitar, or not?
Oh, right. Hmm. Oh gosh, I haven't prepared anything.
Sorry, I couldn't remember if you wanted to or not, but yeah, it's up to you.
I could. I'd have to get my guitar out. It's in a case over there. Do you want me to?
Yeah, yeah, if that's all right,
Sure.
that'd be cool.
Okay, hold on one sec.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so I'll play you a song from when I was like 17, which is one of the ones that I've been messing around with this for this new album.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be great. Cool.
This is a song called Days Like These. Speaking fluently in words we made up separately, but understand is sweet. More importantly to me, not what stands out physically, it's the things you speak and the ways to which your mind thinks up these things I so enjoy means we can talk constantly. Never shy of trying out new things, and passion seems so interesting endlessly. So forget about where you're meant to be and now spend a day or two with me. Pretend we're free. Do it while you have the chance. We'll jump, we'll shout, we'll sing, we'll dance, and soon we'll see. Days like these don't last forever. Every day comes with good weather, depending on what it is you like to see. Days like these don't last forever. Every day comes with good weather, depending on what it is you like to see. They say absence makes the heart grow fonder. We all know it takes so much longer. If it were up to me, it would be scrambled eggs and ecstasy, or something with my dignity. But what's the need? You can see the world we live in now, and not one of them would milk a cow for a cup of tea. So come along and have screaming round, now screaming fights what it's all about, 'cause the way he looked at me. So forget about where you're meant to be and now spend a day or two with me. Pretend we're free and do it while you have the chance. We'll jump, we'll shout, we'll sing, we'll dance, and soon we'll see. Days like these don't last forever. Every day comes with good weather, depending on what it is you like to see. Days like these don't last forever. Every day comes with good weather, depending on what it is you like to see. To see. To see.
Right on, yeah. So that's on the new album, is it?
Yeah. Unreleased childhood song.
Wow, that's really cool. I like I love the lyrics in that about it takes longer to get over something than when people just sort of try to comfort you and go, you'll get over it, and you're like,
Yeah.
but it takes ages.
Yeah. No, it's always meant a lot to me, that song. So I'm kind of happy to be creating a version to bring to the world eventually. Hopefully sometime in the new year, I'll have some new stuff for you guys to listen to. But I'm excited about how it's bubbling away at the moment.
Excellent. All right, Josh. Well, thanks so much for your time, and congratulations to you and the band on the award. More like
Hey,
trees, band of the month,
thank
everybody.
you so much. Yeah,
No
that's dope.
worries.
I will put it up in my studio.
Awesome. So, where can people support the band and get some CDs and merch, T-shirts?
If you guys would like to hear some music, I've got an album out, 2 albums out with my band, More Like Trees, on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you want to search for it. You can do a Google search, it'll pop up. You can also search for Josh Whitehouse. I have an EP out from quite a long time ago, but it's a very different sound that I was experimenting with. And I have another band as well. I don't want to overload people, but I should say it all. I have a band called High Cross Society as well, which is an amalgamation of More Like Trees with another band called Lazy Habits, Reap Swan on beatbox, and Fiocra as well. So 3 bands mixed together and a beatboxer. So that's more like a hip hoppy style acoustic band thing. 13-piece. It was very fun to work on, and I miss it. But that's the thing. Main thing, go check out the More Like Trees album, Don't Disturb the Garden. That's our newest workout at the moment.
Excellent. Yeah. So you heard the man. Go check him out. More Like Trees and Josh Whitehouse. And he also performed in our summer festival, which is on our YouTube channel, which was amazing. And there's also a previous episode with Josh, which we'll put on the website, which is on mixcloud.com/wayoutradio. All right. That's a wrap.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Paula. Good to see you.
Hey guys, DJ Paula Frost here from Way Out Radio, the one and only punk and reggae station, broadcasting every week. Go to wayoutradio.com for more. So I just want to tell you guys about the brand new fan club we've just launched. It's absolutely amazing. You can choose from contributing £5, £10 or £20 per month to keep the station alive, pay our guests handsomely, and keep music money in the musician's pocket and in the punk world and in the reggae world. So find out more about that at wayoutradio.com. Thank you very much.